Now, those of you that have paint at home, you can do what is called a crayon resist. So I have some water here, and I have a paintbrush, and I have some watercolor paint. And some of you may have watercolor paint. If you don't have watercolor paint, you can use acrylic or tempera paint and just water it down. So it's a nice, like a nice watery paint. So just add some water to it in a little cup. So I'm going to just take some colors. I think that it'll be very nice to see a pretty blue painted on top of this first design. So I'm going to zoom into that first design so you can see that design. I'm going to take a very pretty blue, and I'm going to paint in that space. And you'll notice that everywhere I put crayon, the paint will resist going there. So it's called a resist because water and wax don't mix together. They don't like each other in the scientific form. So they're not going to combine together. They're going to resist each other. So I'm going to go on, just take a little bit of water, and I'm going to paint in that space. And I kind of want to show you. It's hard to show you without being on the table, but I'm going to hold it up and then do it. So here, I'm just painting on top of it, and you'll notice that everywhere I'm putting the paint, the crayon is not allowing the paint to go there in those spaces. So the paint is only going in the spaces where there is no wax, okay? So I'm going to paint in that whole space, and then I'll hold it back up and show it to you. And it makes this really cool effect. I really like this. And you can do this on any of your projects. If you really like this technique, you can do that. Again, if you don't have paints at home, that is okay. Use what you have. You can just color it with the crayons, but you can see how that makes a nice motif. Now, the blue kind of hides the green lines, but if you want to use a different color, you can. So I'll keep that going. I could... let's take a bright orange color paint. So now I'm going to paint in my next array, which is here, with my lines in it. And again, I did my lines with crayon. So I'm just going to paint over those lines with my paintbrush, being careful to try to stay in my lines. And you'll see that that creates this very pretty effect where I can still see my lines in my design because the crayon will resist the paint. It's not going to allow that paint to go there. Okay? So if you don't have paints at home, that is okay. Use what you have. I could use, in this space, I'm not going to do paint. I'm going to use a different color to color in the white spaces in between the pink and the blue lines. So I'm going to use a lime green crayon, and I'm just going to color in each of the little squares in between. It's a longer process, but it looks just as pretty. And I think that you can come up with some really nice design work. I am working on... I have a Facebook page that I started just for us to post your work. So please continue to send your work in to me, and I'll put it on that Facebook page. I'm working on an Instagram account. You know, this is a learning curve for us as well as you. So it takes a while to kind of figure out how to put everything on these platforms. But once we get everything figured out, I want to display your work. You're at home, but you're not. You can still create. You can still do the things that you want to do at home. You know, just pop in this YouTube tutorial, look at it a few times, pause it if you need to, slow it down if you need to hear me rewind it, all that good stuff. And then create. And it's okay if you don't do it just like me. You're not supposed to. You are your own artist. You are your own person. So come up with your own concept. You can change whatever it is that I have put on here and make it your own, so that you can create a very beautiful piece of art. And I want to see them. Make sure you're sending them in either to me or to your teacher, so that I can get a hold of those and I can post them. And I love you guys. You know, stay safe, keep those hands clean, and keep your distance from people. And I love you, and have a great day at home. Bye-bye.